UFC Vegas 49 weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. We're going to go through each fight on this card. We'll check out how the fighters looked on the scales, and I will give you guys my final predictions. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and share the video as well. And let's jump right into it here for this UFC Vegas 49 card. We got the images from weigh-ins. There's Brahimaj on the screen, but that's not the fight we're starting with, but I will get this all linked up and ordered here. Fight number one that we're going to start with, down at the bottom, Victor Altamirano versus Carlos Hernandez. Fun flyweight fight and a tricky one to pick. Earlier in the week, I'm on the Altamirano side. After the money line, talking to Mike, it definitely is bringing me a bit towards the middle here. So a lot is going to be riding on how these fighters look on the scale. Let's check them out. There is Hernandez looking good and ready to go on the scales. I mean, at 125, you expect both fighters normally to look pretty damn solid. Rarely do you see guys looking chubby at 125. There's Altamirano. I feel like, looking just purely at the scale here, it doesn't change much for me. I still have a bit of faith on this underdog Altamirano. I think that the stand-up could be the difference maker. I'm going to stick to my guns and stick to my dog. You're not seeing a pick switch on this one. Altamirano win by decision, potentially split. I think it's going to be extremely close. Looking at the lines, plus 128, minus 136 are the best value lines. As far as props on this one, I don't love. I think fight goes distance for sure here. Value of that. Fight going long here. If you go fight goes distance, minus 160, I do expect it to, but don't really love the bet. I don't really love any bet on this side, maybe besides the dog play on Altamirano. If you're propping it up, you're asking yourself for trouble. These guys are making the UFC debuts, but decision side for Altamirano, plus 250. For Hernandez, if you're on the opposite side, plus 180, but I would stick with money line. I am on the Altamirano side. Win by a very competitive decision. Not one that I am feeling throwing much at, but you could play potentially on the underdog. Good fight to start it off, though, with these flyweights. Ramiz Brahimaj versus Micheal Gillmore. Earlier in the week, the pick is Brahimaj. Just recently, bad loss to Court McGee. Serious step down in competition, though. Gillmore has not shown me anything in his UFC career besides having the courage to take fights on short notice, that being the tough opportunity that he got, and then, you know, jumping into the UFC against a dangerous wrestler, Andre Petrosyan, and he lost that fight as well. He fights Brahimaj, who's a submission ace. It's going to be hard for anything to change my pick here, but we will look at them on the scales. There is Micheal Gillmore. There is Ramiz Brahimaj. Both guys looking good and ready to go. I don't feel like the scale has much implications of change. I mean, this is a stylistic mismatch, I feel. Minus 356 best value, Brahimaj, so around the minus 350 to minus 400 range. And then Gillmore about plus 315 as a dog. I'm on the favorite Brahimaj here. Very hard to pick against him. If you were going to play this fight, I really lean you towards the prop. It could be the sub prop at minus 105. I do expect that to come through. Brahimaj all wins via submission. Gillmore has been submitted. I think Brahimaj gets him out of there by submission. I'm also curious, though, to see how Gillmore fights at 170. Most likely, Brahimaj wins this fight. Unless Gillmore has a true different game down this weight class, we get our first time to see it against higher level competition here with Ramiz. I'm still sticking with Ramiz Brahimaj. Next fight of the night, Alejandro Perez and Jonathan Martinez. I am very excited to see these two throw down. Normally, they're fighting at 135 pounds, but for this matchup, they make it for 145. Earlier in the week, the pick is Martinez. It's hard to pick against him. I'm a fan of the stand-up game. His takedown defense is very good. Perez on the opposite side, I feel like he's still finding himself as a fighter at 32. In his most recent fight, showed a different striking style than we've seen previously. A lot more upper body movement, even a wider stance. Against Perez, I think he's getting picked apart. Now, looking at the scales for these two, there is Jonathan Martinez. He looks in pretty good shape and ready to go. There is his opponent, Alejandro Perez. And there is the face-off as well we got for this one. Nice little face-off there. I'm on the Perez, excuse me, I'm on the Martinez side. I don't think Perez gets him, but I do think Perez brings the fight, and I'm thinking we're going long here. I think we're looking at 3 rounds of warfare between these two, and I think that Perez, even though I don't see him winning, will come tough. He's not an easy guy to beat, for sure. Jonathan Martinez, though, I definitely think he gets it done. Decision, value side of betting on this one, you're looking at minus 235 Martinez, Perez, plus 230 range. I like Jonathan Martinez more of a parlay piece, unless you're really going after him heavy with a money line play. Fight goes distance, minus 140. Martinez could knock Perez out, but I think Perez's durability is still there. I mean, Song Yadong knocked him out, but very different striking styles and serious power edge on the Yadong side over like a Jonathan Martinez. Plus 275 Martinez knockout prop. If you want it by decision, it is plus 145. I'd rather money line it though, but I feel like the decision prop could potentially come through. Jonathan Martinez win via decision over Alejandro Perez. Next fight of the night, Terrance McKinney versus Faraz Ziam. Fantastic matchup of lightweight prospects here. Ziam, a technical masterclass style striker. Terrance McKinney, absolute powerhouse with a wrestling background. He comes at fighters with chaos. Earlier in the week, the pick is McKinney. We'll check them out on the scales and see if anything changes. There is Faraz Ziam, and there is opponent Terrance McKinney there. And they have a very friendly face-off, more of a hug-off here between these two. McKinney's going to come at him hard early. I mean, that's his best method to win this fight, is pressure from the start. I think that the intense striking style of Terrance McKinney can potentially throw off the very proficient technician in Faraz Ziam. He needs to be over-aggressive and a bit crazy at times. He needs to use his explosiveness and speed advantage, and I think he can knock Ziam out. I'm going the McKinney KO side. First round, potentially. I like Terrance McKinney to win. He's a dog in this fight. Looking at the lines for this matchup, plus 110. But honestly, depending on where you go, you're looking at near even money. On the opposite side, Ziam, minus 109. Maybe you're thinking McKinney gets the KO, plus 250 for that. That would be a big thing to do, though, to knock out Faraz Ziam, though we've seen Ziam dropped. That Vendermini fight, when Vendermini got a little bit more reckless, let loose, got him out of, he didn't get him out of there, he got him down. He had a successful third round. McKinney, I suggest to you, will have that success earlier. McKinney for the win. I'm going knockout. I think we're in store for a fun fight in the lightweight division. Terrance McKinney for the W. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight of the night, ladies. Josiane Nunes and Ramona Pascual fight here in the women's featherweight division. The shortest featherweight I've ever seen. 5'2", fighting at 145.5 pounds. Josiane Nunes is thick. She definitely has some size on her. Pascual, big advantage as far as the height goes. Reach, advantage the shorter Nunes. I don't think Pascual has the technical tools. I'm on the Nunes side earlier in the week. It's going to be hard to see anything changing that for me there. There is Pascual. There is Nunes. There is the face-off. It doesn't seem like a significant size differential at all. I think Nunes is a powerhouse with the stand-up. I think her power makes the difference here, and I think she knocks Ramona Pascual out, potentially in the first or second. Looking at the lines, Nunes is a big favorite, minus 205. Pascual, plus 195. I like Nunes for the W here. Let's look at some potential props. Nunes by KO is plus 100. You really want to push it, you could go Nunes round 1 plus 240, Nunes round 2 plus 450. Don't really love those round betting. I think that's a little bit too risky. Under 2.5 is minus 150. I do think there's a good possibility that Josiane Nunes stops Ramona Pascual here inside of the first 2 rounds. I'm expecting an impressive display striking. Power for sure. Pascual's good in the tie clinch, but I think Nunes will come with overhands that will do more damage. Nunes for the win, and I'm thinking knockout. Let's get to the next fight. It is Ignacio Bahamondes versus Zhu Rong. Big weight miss by Rong Zhu. 160 for a fight at 155. Not a good look. Earlier in the week, I've been on the Bahamondes side confidently. I really am feeling him as a prospect. Rong, decent fighter. I mean, has a lot of experience at just 21 years of age, but I think he's in for a hard night with Bahamondes. There is Bahamondes ready to go in shape. Then there is Rong. He doesn't look that good on the scale. He looks a little flabby around the midsection, man. And there's the face-off. To me, the pink hair is a sign he's getting knocked out too. I don't know. I don't see success for Rong Zhu. I think that we're going to see Bahamondes potentially knock him out now, especially seeing the weight miss. I'm concerned. I like Bahamondes definitely for the win. Very confident pick. As far as the lines go, I expect them to get wider, especially with the weight miss. 190 for Ignacio Bahamondes. I love that. Definitely going to be playing him myself. Rong Zhu on the opposite side, the plus 180 dog. I am on Team Ignacio for the win, and I do think he'll get it done. Potentially inside distance. Earlier in the week, I was on decision, so I am a little bit torn on method of victory, but I think Bahamondes gets it done. If he can land the strike, he could get the knockout. Bahamondes wins decision, plus 180. Bahamondes wins KO, plus 240, but the money line at nearly minus 190 is not bad. Even if you find it in the minus 200 range, it's not a terrible play either. Good parlay addition. Ignacio Bahamondes for the win. I'm going to say he potentially gets the stoppage too. And that is the full prelim card. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn those post notifications on. It's Gregory Rodrigues and Armen Petrosyan. Very fun fight in the middleweight division. Armen Petrosyan, one of my favorite underdogs across any combat event this weekend. I like him here. Earlier in the week, he's my pick. Let's check them out on the scales. Rodrigues in very good shape, ready to go. On the opposite side, Petrosyan lean and mean, and there is the face-off. Similar size between the two. I think Petrosyan has a good possibility of finding that chin. I think that the technical striking will be on display. I think Gregory Rodrigues is getting knocked out here. I love the underdog, Armen Petrosyan, plus 140 for him. As far as the prop side of things, if you're like, listen, I'm going Petrosyan by KO. I know he trained with those Dagestanis in wrestling. I don't see the wrestling threat from Rodrigues. I really don't. Petrosyan by KO, plus 200. The value of just plus 140, Petrosyan wins, is great too. I do think the knockout does come through. Plus 200 value, not a bad play. I got Petrosyan, underdog, upset. I think he's knocking Gregory Rodrigues unconscious, potentially in the first, maybe even the second round. Technical precision on the striking. Petrosyan is a pleasure to watch standing. He's got a bright future. Keep your eye out on him. Rodrigues, absolute savage, tough fighter. I like his style, but I see him getting picked apart standing up, and he's going to get knocked out here. Next fight of the night, Arman Tsarukyan and Joel Alvarez. A lot of people are on different sides here. It's a very toss-up level fight. For as wide as the odds are, it seems like a lot of people are picking different sides. A lot of people have confidence on Alvarez, especially after that big win over Moises. Arman Tsarukyan has superior wrestling. Earlier in the week, the pick is Tsarukyan. We'll check them out on the scales and see if anything changes here. Of course, Alvarez has a huge height advantage over pretty much everybody he fought. There is Arman. And there is that height difference. It's not insane, but size definitely favors the Joel Alvarez side. I like Arman Tsarukyan's chances, guys. I think Arman Tsarukyan will take this fight to the floor. He'll control where it goes, and when you control where the fight goes, you tend to be the victor. Arman Tsarukyan win, unanimous decision. He takes out the hot prospect, Joel Alvarez, and Tsarukyan is that prospect to watch here in 2022. Great fight either way. May the best man win it. I'm actually a fan of both and very excited to see how it looks. As far as betting side, Tsarukyan minus 200, Alvarez plus 190. I like Tsarukyan. I think this fight goes a bit long here. Over 1.5, minus 160 is not a bad play. Tsarukyan wins via decision, plus 180, best value. If you're on the Alvarez side, maybe you're thinking Alvarez inside distance, plus 320. Arman Tsarukyan is a beast on the mat, and he is developing a dangerous striking game. I see him winning this fight by a decision. Arman Tsarukyan for the win over Joel Alvarez. The featured bout of the night, which I don't understand why Tsarukyan Alvarez isn't, but it's Priscila Cachoeira, Yeon Kim. Cachoeira in that last fight, she tried to eye gouge Jillian Robertson. I am not a fan of Cachoeira whatsoever. I'll tell you guys out the gate. I think Yeon Kim can win this fight by a decision, potentially show Priscila the door after that. Honestly, terrible, terrible foul. That was really hard to watch, and I've said it all week long. I have a problem with it, seriously. You're trying to eye gouge a fighter 100% intentionally. There's no bullshit around that you should be released from the UFC. Fighters have been released before. I mean, Paul Harris with the leg lock hold, looking at Paul Daly hitting after the bell. She's trying to blind Robertson. Come on now. I'd rather her bite her than try to blind her. I think Yeon Kim can win a decision. She's the pick earlier in the week, but I don't like a bet on this one. There is Priscila Cachoeira, looks intense. There is Ji-yoon Kim. Then there is the face-off. I think the Kim side gets the win. Decision. Probably an overly competitive fight. I think technically Kim's better, but the savage of Cachoeira will come out, and she can mix it up on the feet. Has a bit of power, a little bit tricky with her hooks, a little awkward. I like Kim, though. Win by decision. Don't love a bet on this fight. We'd rather just sit, watch, and hope for the best here. Minus 150 for Kim. Cachoeira plus 145. Queen of the eye gouge. If you get that rear naked choke, close those eyes, because she might be taking one home with you. I don't love any bets on this fight personally. I do think fight goes distance has potential, but don't want to play it. It is minus 170 range. Best value minus 163. Kim wins via decision plus 150. Don't love it. Gonna sit out. Just watch this one. Hope for the best, but no expectations really. The Kim side, though, is the pick. Win decision here. Next fight is co-main. Misha and Wellington Turman. The bout order on this card just doesn't make sense to me. I think featured bout should be Petrosyan and then do the co-main Tsarukyan, but they got Cirkunov, Wellington Turman as the co-main. I don't know. I'm not setting these cards up, so it is what it is. Earlier in the week, the pick is Cirkunov. He's had a good career at light heavyweight for a while, and then the chin is a huge question mark. This is a really tricky one to pick, man. Both guys want fights on the floor and want to be controlling from that top position and have good submission skills. We'll look at the face-off there. There is Turman in pretty good shape. There is Cirkunov shredded and ready to go. Size advantage is on the Cirkunov side. For that reason, I am picking Cirkunov for the win. I do expect him to get it done. I'm going to pick method of victory is tricky on this one because Turman has a good submission game. I'm thinking decision, Cirkunov. I think it'll be a close matchup for sure, but he should win this fight. Looking at the odds, Cirkunov right now, minus 115. Turman, plus 107. Best value. Don't love really any bets here. Maybe you can money line it. Fight goes distance, plus 135. Cirkunov submission side, plus 255. I know some people like that. Cirkunov decision, plus 450. I do think he might win a decision here. Don't love a bet, but if you want to money line it, that's where I'm going to lean you towards. And I'm going the Cirkunov side, but I know some people are on the dog, Turman. I'm not super impressed by Turman or Cirkunov as of late. Size differential favors Cirkunov, range advantage, and I do think if he gets on top, he's more dangerous than Wellington Turman. Let's get to the main event of the evening. If you guys have not, smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. Catchweight fight at 160. But this is ultimately Islam Makhachev's chance to showcase why he deserves the next title shot. And earlier in the week, the pick was Makhachev. It's very hard for me to jump against him. Doesn't matter really how they look on the scales. I think there is a difference of the levels here. Bobby Green is a damn good fighter. Makhachev is a really great fighter to watch, and I do think he's got a very, very bright future coming. He's a serious contender. There's the face-off, little smack talk. I think this is the matchup that Makhachev needs to stand out. I hope there's a little more back and forth in the cage. I hope it gets intense. I feel like Makhachev is going to put on a display. He said first round. I'm suggesting it could be anywhere from the first to third. Makhachev wins via submission. Bobby Green has good takedown defense, but it's a different level when you're grappling with Dagestanis. There's a whole nother game that these Dagestani wrestlers have. When they get on top, it's different pressure, and I suggest to you Bobby Green won't be ready for that. On the feet, he's dangerous, but he's not a one-punch knockout guy. He knocked out Al Iaquinta, but that's real estate Al Iaquinta, not raging Al Iaquinta. Not really known for finishes. I don't see him decisioning Islam Makhachev here. Islam for the win via submission. I like it. Anywhere from the first to third. He's a minus 705 favorite, best value, but he's upwards near minus 1,000. He's even at minus 2,000 over at Sportsbet. Bobby Green plus 660. If you're like, okay, I want to play this fight, but I don't know where the money could be made, you could go under 2.5 minus 115. I think that might be decent value. I see Makhachev potentially getting that sub. You want to go Makhachev wins by submission because I do think there's likelihood that he gets that method. Plus 100. TKO Makhachev plus 385. Makhachev inside distance minus 215. They've already covered that line, so there's not much you can make there. Just for fun, I'll bring up Bobby Green wins by knockout. It's upwards of plus 1,120. Don't see it happening. I think Makhachev gets the win. I think he does it impressively. Expect persistent takedowns. If he doesn't get the first one, he'll get the second or third. He'll get on top. He'll find the back of Bobby Green and submit him here. Islam Makhachev for the win. Staple performance for him now. Maybe jumps in a title fight. Concern is the Conor McGregor X factor being there, maybe finding a way in. Bobby Green, if he's victorious, has huge opportunities. He becomes like the new Masvidal of the division, or the new Nate Diaz of the division. Like, I think Bobby Green, Conor McGregor's a huge fight if Green gets this win. Not suggesting that happens, though. I'm on the Makhachev side. Now, before we finish, I do want to talk quickly about some parlays you could potentially play here for this UFC card. I don't want to play insane favorites, so I'm going to skip on the big dogs here, but I like Bahamondes, and I like him parlayed up a lot with Jonathan Martinez. You get plus 106 value. You bring Brahimaj in, it is plus 150, so it's not too great. We'll take him out. If you're feeling the underdog, Terrance McKinney, depending where you go, I mean, if you go here, you're getting him plus 360, but the range you're looking at is near about plus 300 for those three, which I think is a pretty decent play. I know some people won't be jumping at the bit to play Terrance McKinney. You want to go underdog that can really bite and come through, you can go with Arman Petrosyan, brings you around that plus 440 range. I think that's a fantastic three-fighter parlay, something that could cash. Let's say you added in Makhachev, it doesn't give you much value, which is the reason I personally am staying away from it. We're going to go for a Hail Mary real quick, though, and we're going to bring on a good amount of fighters here. Let's do it. Plus 1,400 range for Bahamondes, Martinez, Petrosyan, Brahimaj, and McKinney. Real lottery ticket style play. Let's see what would happen if we did add Makhachev here. Then it's worth adding Makhachev in, plus 1,600. Overall, some fun bets to make. Great card. I am very excited for it. I will be doing the full card fight companion, so make sure you tune in here with me for the full card on Saturday. I'll be live the entire thing. Might even do a shoey too if we hit the likes. This week, we'll go 105 likes for the shoey. Much love, my people. I hope you guys enjoyed this weigh-in recap show. Smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.